Hi, my name's Patrick Laporte. I'm Senior Director of Portfolio Marketing here at Aruba, and I'm really excited to be participating with this Microsoft Ignite event and helping you to understand how Aruba and Aruba ESP can help you to accelerate your digital transformation journey. You know, digital transformation has been around and been top of mind with business leaders and technologists and consumers for many, many years. And there's one aspect of digital transformation that has also been around for a number of years, and that's called edge computing. But edge computing continues to evolve. It's gone beyond just the typical use cases of content delivery networks and maybe gamelets that drive video game streaming to take on new use cases. And those new use cases are being driven by IoT. You know, IDC predicts that within the next 2 years, there will be over 55 billion IoT devices connected worldwide. And Gartner is predicting that over 50% of all data will be generated outside the data center or cloud in that same amount of time. And businesses are recognizing the value of this data, and they're combining it with compute and storage and networking and specialized applications at the edge of their networks to deliver new business outcomes. You know, these applications are the technologies that provide intelligence to edge computing. And we refer to this as the intelligent edge. And the intelligent edge is everywhere. It's in industrial manufacturing in the form of IoT sensors that are embedded in manufacturing equipment to drive greater operational efficiency. It's in healthcare to help monitor patient vital signs and help patients and their guests to be able to navigate healthcare facilities. It's in workplaces, it's in retail, it's in stadiums. Intelligent edge is everywhere, and chances are you've already experienced some aspects of the intelligent edge. But I want to spend a little bit of time today talking about how workplaces are transforming with the intelligent edge. And they're transforming beyond smart buildings to become hyper-aware facilities. You know, all of us are probably very familiar with aspects of smart buildings where IoT sensors monitor things like temperature and lighting to drive greater energy usage. But hyper-aware facilities combine IoT sensors, operational technology, as well as IT, and combine that with network-generated information to provide context to deliver amazing experiences, greater security, and improved safety for employees, for guests, for patients, and more. An example of a hyper-aware facility is imagine a scenario where you're in an office building and you have an employee that books a conference room. Now, a smart building might be able to ensure that that user can book that conference room remotely using some sort of application. But a hyper-aware facility can not only allow that user to book that conference room, but then looks at that user and that user's role in the organization, and then can automatically enable access to certain resources, whether it's special network access, special device access, special applications access, and so forth. And it goes beyond that. So imagine now the user attends a meeting in that conference room. The smart or the hyper-aware facility can detect that the user actually is using that conference room, and the user's guests can all have access to the appropriate resources based on their role and the purpose of the meeting. But in addition to that, once that meeting is over, let's say that meeting ends a little bit early, the conference room can automatically detect that everybody has left that meeting space, and it can free it up to make it available for other people to use. These are examples of how a hyper-aware facility that combines operational technology, IoT sensors, and IT infrastructure, more specifically the network-generated contextual information to understand who's using infrastructure, who's using facilities, what their role is, and what sort of services they may need. But to deliver a hyper-aware facility, there are a number of challenges. For example, managing IT infrastructure, IoT devices, and operational technology networks is a major challenge, because a lot of times these infrastructures are completely different. IT infrastructure might use IP-based networking. IoT devices use upwards of 300 different protocols. And operational technologies oftentimes use proprietary mechanisms to communicate. And so managing all this across all your network is a major challenge. In addition to that, accessing telemetry and context so that you can understand where your employees are, where your guests are in relation to your facility so that you can deliver the appropriate services at the appropriate time and in the context that they expect. With data, data is always top of mind. And in this case, with all this data being generated and all this telemetry information being used, you want to make sure that you can deliver utmost security and privacy. You want to collect the contextual information, but not necessarily personal information. So data and security is a challenge here as well. In addition to that, locating people and things. Being able to attach sensors to these devices or to an employee badge or a guest mobile device so that you can detect where these things are and help them to understand where they need to go. And then lastly, it's all about ensuring run excellence, which essentially is a short way of saying making sure that all this infrastructure runs at the highest levels. Now, Aruba has been working with all of our technology partners to help enable hyper-aware buildings. And we do this using Aruba ESP, which is short for Edge Services Platform. And Aruba ESP is the industry's first AI-powered platform that unifies IoT, IT, and operational technology while still protecting and automating hyper-aware buildings. And Aruba ESP possesses three key attributes: AI ops, zero trust security, and unified infrastructure. From a unified infrastructure standpoint, it's all about enabling a single platform for connectivity. Our access points allow all these IoT devices and these operational technologies to be able to connect to our Wi-Fi 6 platform and be able to get that traffic onto a network that's reliable and robust and transport that traffic to the appropriate resources so the hyper-aware facility can take advantage of this information. Now, speaking of which, with all these IoT devices and operational technologies, zero trust security is an absolute paramount, because as more and more devices start to connect to the network, you need to embrace greater levels of security. And Aruba ESP applies zero trust security principles where we can identify an IoT device and be able to classify that device using automation into a centrally managed policy such that that device's traffic only goes to the resources it should have access to. So maintaining security and then continuously monitoring is paramount for network infrastructure. But when it comes to run excellence, that's where AI Ops really starts to shine, because Aruba AI Ops on Aruba ESP combines artificial intelligence, analytics, machine learning to deliver greater operational efficiency of the network by detecting issues and helping the business to resolve those issues much quicker and sometimes even before they impact the business. Now, the Aruba ESP architecture is comprised of three key layers: the connectivity layer, which is where all the IoT devices and the networking infrastructure all connect and where bits and bytes transfer from point A to point B. Above that is a software-defined policy layer where all the security elements are abstracted into what we call an overlay. And then above that is all the services that can be plugged into the Aruba ESP platform to deliver things like locationing or analytics or improve onboarding of devices and just ensure overall management of the infrastructure. Now, all of this is driven through Aruba Central, which is our cloud-native single pane of glass that allows you to manage across multiple locations, whether it's remote office workers, branch office, campus, or data center, and lots of different networking domains, whether it's wired, wireless, or SD-WAN. Now, in order to deliver these capabilities, we have to work with technology partners. And Aruba has a broad array of technology partners that ensure seamless integration with technologies that are operating in these hyper-aware facilities, technologies that provide smart sensors, or technologies that ensure greater security or assist with workplace safety. So these technologies, combined with Aruba ESP, help our customers drive these hyper-aware facilities. Now, the way that we do that is using these three layers. These operational technologies and these IoT devices connect at the connectivity layer to provide bidirectional IoT data. Then they're all controlled and managed and monitored from a security standpoint using the software-defined policy layer. And then lastly, all the context that drives the contextual information to deliver those amazing experiences ensures run excellence is done with the context and status layer, which is the services layer. Now, all of these elements feed information into all the relevant applications, whether it's IT applications, operational technology applications, or IT applications. And you put it all together, you're delivering a hyper-aware facility. Now, one example of this at work is using Aruba ESP. All of us are very familiar with the challenges that we've been facing as a result of this global pandemic. And so ultimately, if and when employees start to return to the office, we want to make sure that they can return in a safe and secure way. And so with Aruba ESP, working with our partners, we've been able to develop a technology and a capability to provide that safe return to work. And there's two main benefits from this capability. The first is that we now have the ability, using our access points, our sensors, proximity sensors, and by putting sensors on employee badges and what have you, we can track where employees go throughout the day within the office. And that gives us two main benefits. The first one is on the left side of my screen, where we provided a new feature we call proximity tracing. So imagine a scenario where an employee has been coming into the office and all of a sudden has tested positive. Speed is of the essence here. So one of the things that we're able to provide is we can have the administrator go into the proximity tracing tab and locate that user's name and be able to see who that user came in contact with within the last 24 or 48 hours. Excuse me. Now, this is incredibly valuable because then this information can be used to inform those other employees that they came in contact with someone who has tested positive for COVID-19. Now, on the right side, we also can use this location information to inform the traffic patterns that are going on throughout the day. And in this case, we're showing a lot of congregation of people in the lower right corner of this particular floor. And so one of the things that facilities managers can do is they can use this information to modify the work habits of employees, or maybe modify how the floor is organized such that the business can maintain safe social distancing. But it goes even farther than that, because this same view can be used by service personnel who are coming in to clean the building after hours. And they can look at maps like this and they can determine where they may need to spend more time doing more cleaning of the facility, and areas where they don't need to spend as much time. The advantage there is that the businesses can focus on the hot areas and make sure that those areas are properly cleaned, and spend less time on those other areas, which saves the business money and ensures workplace safety. So these are just two examples of how the intelligent edge, where we're using Aruba ESP, Aruba infrastructure, our technology partners and sensors and devices that they provide, in conjunction with operational technologies, to drive greater hyper-aware facilities, but also in this case, ensure a safe return to the office. Now, in conclusion, there's a few key points I want to leave you with. As digital and physical worlds are converging to drive new experiences and efficiencies, you need reliable, optimized, and secure networking because it's more critical to your business than ever. So I encourage you to talk to Aruba about how you can leverage our AI-powered insights to resolve issues more quickly and ensure run excellence. Leverage Aruba Central to unify network operations and connectivity across your IT infrastructure, your OT infrastructure, and your IoT devices. And then lastly, employ a zero trust security model that will reduce the complexity of managing your security posture, but at the same time, ensure the highest protection levels. And so with that, I'd like to conclude. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this session. I hope you found it interesting, and I hope you enjoy the rest of your time at Microsoft Ignite. Thank you, and have a great day.